Live. This is your girl last night.
Oh, yeah.
1-2 the count. Stanek sets now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. Put it in the books. Ryan Stanek blows a fastball by Cody Clemens. The Mets have won the ball game, and they have taken a 2-1 lead in the National League Division Series. Game 4 against the Phillies right back here tomorrow night.
Oh, that's how it sounded. New York Mets Radio Network. Daily Ticket with you here. Yeah, not the best result yesterday. That's for damn sure. We're going to talk a lot about yesterday's result, and we'll fast forward quickly and see if we can turn the page and maybe force a game 5 back in Philly. We got some pop culture events that we're going to get into with our next guest, and even mix in some Eagles and Browns conversation as the bye week is over. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Jon Marks back on the Daily Ticket. John, good afternoon. How we doing today?
I guess it's a good afternoon. I've already gotten the loss. I'm trying to get it out. The hour-long show I had this morning on PHLY was 45 minutes complaining and then 15 minutes. Let's look ahead to see if they can win this game tonight. But I'm ready to continue to complain because I still have it.
Nice.
Sucks.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Every morning on PHLY Sports at 8 a.m. Be sure to subscribe to their YouTube channel. Make sure you're following John on all things socials at Jon Marks Media. All right. Where do we start? I think you have to get right to the offense, right? Like it's impressive how easy they make it look. Yesterday, I saw something on the lines of, and I believe this is correct. It was 6 outs on 13 pitches after the back-to-back walks to start the 6th inning by Minaya. And then, of course, we know what happened after that. Harper strikes out, and then the Castellanos double play. Yeah. And then the following inning, like 6 outs on 13 pitches. Yep. That's pretty damn impressive, John.
I would say it's pretty damn pathetic from the Phillies standpoint.
Yeah.
Right. And give the Mets credit. Minaya looked good last night. The 7th inning, where if you look at every other starting pitching performance in this series, you get to the 6th inning, you start to struggle a little bit. You get in that 7th inning, like Wheeler, you're just trying to get the hell out of the inning, right? Like at that point, playoff baseball, every pitch means so much more and is so much more taxing than a regular season game, right? So why the hell is Minaya? You just mentioned the 6th inning. In the 7th inning, he breezed. He didn't throw a ball in the 7th inning. I'm scrambling right now to pull it up because I was looking at it this morning and I was just so damn mad about it. So Bohm comes up, ground out, first pitch swinging. This is top of the 7th. Real Muto comes up, strike looking, ground out. Hayes, oh my God, Austin Hayes, strike looking, foul ball, strike swinging. What is the plan at the plate for these hitters? Go up and swing. That's their plan. We're going to swing it wherever the hell you throw us. A 7th inning for a starting pitcher in a playoff series like this should not be that easy. And that's what the Phillies offense is allowing this Mets pitching staff to do, is have easy innings because of their lack of a plan and preparation at the plate.
You know, like I look at Bryce Harper's at bat in that position where those were good pitches. Like yes. I got to give the benefit of the doubt to Minaya. Like he is a professional. He's been pitching better than I think he ever has in his career, specifically in that game against the Brewers. And then yesterday he looked pretty damn good out there on the mound as well. But like you said, the approach, Alec Bohm is not Bryce Harper. You go up there and take a pitch, work a count. Like, isn't it somewhat of a team concept come in? And especially, as you said, understanding the game with the 7th inning and your starting pitcher is still in there, make him work. It's only going to be beneficial for everybody. So I guess I hate to go down this direction because they're all grown-ups. They're all paid to play the game. But who's at fault in that situation in your mind?
Well, I mean, if what happens in 2 of the last 3 games happens tonight, and really you're talking about the 6th inning on in game 2. So really for 21 or 20 innings of this entire series, the Phillies have been pathetic offensively. This is one of these series where guys lose their jobs. Hitting coaches lose their jobs. Players get traded. That's how bad it's been. So I'm sure Kevin Long, the Phillies hitting coach, isn't telling them to go up and swing whatever the hell that they're throwing up there. That's really what the Phillies are doing. You know, like Alec Bohm, all right, since he was benched, he has seen 8 pitches in 6 plate appearances. 8 pitches. So even if you're not getting hits, if you're working counts and God forbid you get a 10 or a 12 pitch at bat, getting the Mets starting pitchers out of the game. Look what they did the one game they were able to get the starter out pretty early. They tacked on some runs because you got into the Mets bullpen that was tired. Phillies haven't done that. You let Manaea just cruise last night into really low stress innings. So like these guys got to step it up. You have a ton of money invested in these hitters. Trey Turner's a $300 million man. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber's high paid. Castellanos is high paid. Bohm a high draft pick. Stott's a first round draft pick, right? Like these aren't a bunch of journeymen that are having the like career years all at once. This is a team that's well paid, and they should be performing better than they are. So get their head out of their butts and let's start tonight in Game 4.
Got to win a ball game, and we're going to get over to that in just a second. We'll talk a little bit about our what we think as far as Ranger Suarez is going to be able to do today. But Castellanos, he's had his moments. He's been one of the more consistent ball players at the end of the season, basically since All-Star break. So I don't want to be unfair, but he has struggled at times, and including last postseason. So I think everybody's got that bad taste in their mouth to a point. He had some words. He's always a good quote. He's always a good quote. I feel like he is. He said, quote, yesterday, well, as a group, this is the closest to death we're ever going to get. So in a way, we should feel the most alive, close quote. Jon Marks, do you feel alive today?
I don't feel alive. I don't know if I feel dead just yet. Their backs are against the wall. This is a classic, Sean. This is a classic response game. Hey, what do you got? Everybody's watching. The pressure's on the Mets to close them out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What do you got? You're gonna have the same approach. You're gonna come to the plate and do what you did in Game 3 and look lifeless and just go up there swinging and guessing and hoping to hit a meatball down the middle of the plate, a mistake that they throw. You're gonna go up there like you did in Game 2 and work at bats and wait for your pitch to hit and really grind it out. And I mean, I believe in the players on this team. I believe that the Phillies are a better team than they've been in this series. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, as far as confidence that we're going to get this great team tonight, it's probably about a 5. I don't know, man. It's tough to feel confident.
I like your angle though. It is a what do you got? And these guys are professionals. And at a point like in Game 2, I know that everybody was going nuts, and the Mets deserve this credit. They are a gritty team. They're the zombies. They won't die. But the Phillies have that in them and in them as well. And the fact that they were able to have a successful regular season, and they showed you in Game 2 that they're not going to go down without a fight. They got to keep it close. And I think, Nola could have done a little bit better of a job yesterday. I don't think I'm asking for too much with what he's being paid and the expectations. And, oh, by the way, he was set up to be a little bit better. But when the offense doesn't deliver, I'm not going to waste too much time on Aaron Nola's performance, right?
I will say this, and it gets to Rob Thompson and his managing, and the buttons that he's pushing aren't hitting right now. Nola gave you 5 strong innings. He struck out the side to get through the 5th. So he comes out for the 6th. Sean, we've been watching Aaron Nola pitch for a really long time now in Philadelphia. Where does he generally run into problems in the game?
Yep.
The 6th inning, when the lineup's seeing him for the 3rd time. Rob Thompson should have had, if you're bringing him out for the 6th, and I have no problem with that, you got to have a guy in the bullpen that's ready to go, because he walks that first batter out. The second runner gets on, I wouldn't have given him the second batter. The second batter gets on, out. He gave him 3 batters. The bases were loaded when you brought Kerkering in. That's not good managing. When Aaron Nola starts to fall apart, it's the 5th or the 6th inning, depending. And it was the 6th inning. This is a playoff game. This isn't a regular season game. You can't go down 4-0. And frankly, they're lucky it wasn't worse than 4-0. Kerkering got 2 outs and then gave it up. That could have been 7 or 8-0 the way that inning was going. That's Rob Thompson. Baseball managers, sometimes, like Howard Eskin for years has made fun of baseball managers and say, what do they really do? They're limited in the impact that they can have on games. So when they actually can have an impact on a game, you need to make sure you're doing the right things and you're pushing the right buttons. Rob Thompson has not done that in this series.
You're right. And I feel like he was taking chances. He definitely took chances in Game 2, and it paid off. And then yesterday, it's like sitting on his hands and not getting Nola out of the game. I was definitely second guessing that. And then to go to Kerkering, I think there were some people in the group chat from the Gambler Gang that were definitely second guessing that.
Yeah.
I could understand it. I would have might have went with like a little bit Alvarado at that point in time. Might have been too early, but we haven't seen him in forever. I thought he was going to catch them off guard to a point, but Kirkring got two, and then of course gave it up there at the end of the inning. All right, Phillies though today plus 102 over here. I know you rep Bet Parks, DraftKings. I'm seeing at plus 102. Well, curious, what is the difference? Do you see more money coming in? Obviously, Bet Parks local book. And is it flipped at this point in time? Are the Phillies favored at Bet Parks? What are you seeing right now?
I looked this morning, they were pretty significant underdogs. And
Okay.
I know a lot of times the books like to kind of play off each other to try to get half of that money,
Sure.
maybe get some Phillies money or whatever. But as I look right now on it, Phillies the money line's minus 120 for the Mets. So, I mean, honestly, for being a home game in an elimination game, and you have a really good starter on the mound at home, and Suarez has been kind of iffy, that's not a big number at all.
I agree.
All. Plus 102 for the Phillies on Bet Parks.
Same here as far as DraftKings. 7.5 is our total for today. Of course, up a tick from yesterday and game 2, if I'm not mistaken there. But here we are, 5:08 first pitch. This is a gettable game. This is a winnable game. Ranger Suarez has been in postseason action before. Matter of fact, 9 career postseason appearances, 1.62 ERA. Only pitchers with a lower postseason ERA, minimum 5 starts. Pretty good names there. Sandy Koufax, Steven Strasburg, and 2 other guys. I have no idea who the hell they are. But here we are. Ranger Suarez, we know it's the tale of 2 halves. He was dealing with a little bit of an injury. I think that was significant in his season. But what type of Ranger Suarez should we expect today, John, in your mind?
3 years, 3 innings, 4 innings, 5 innings at most would be my expectations. And that would put you right on the low end. If you put some runners on in the first 2 innings, you're getting into their second time around in the lineup. So if you can go through the Mets lineup once without giving up runs, and then you kind of take it batter by batter after that, you need to be ready to go to the pen by the 3rd or 4th inning, just because you don't know what he's going to have at this point based on what he did at the end of the season. The one thing that you can't do is you can't let this game get away from you. So there has to be a quick hook, and there has to be, hey, what are we doing if he doesn't have it? Now, I don't know if I have a great answer for what you're going to be doing if he doesn't have it, because the long guy's Colby Allard, and if you want to put Colby Allard in this game, go for it. I might go to Target and let you watch those innings. I'm not going to do it. But yeah, I mean, here's one thing I don't worry about Ranger, and it's important, is that you had mentioned how many times he's pitched and he has playoff experience, that the moment's not going to be too big for him. Being in Citi Field, an elimination game against the Mets, pressure on the Phillies that if you lose this, you go home. I don't worry about Ranger Suarez, the moment being too big. I worry about Ranger Suarez throwing 90-91 on his fastball and not having great command, and the Mets just murdering him because he's throwing a very flat ball. That's a real concern. You hope he should be able to get through the lineup once with smoke and mirrors, just tricking him, knowing how to pitch. He knows how to pitch. His stuff suffered at the end of the year. So Ranger's not going to carry you through this game. Putting Zach Wheeler in the game on 3 days rest to throw a complete game shutout's not going to happen. And nor should you do that. You're going to have to win with the offense today, and Rangers going to have to get you through the first couple innings without giving up a lot of runs.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on the Wheeler front, because I know a lot of people are making a big stink out of that. I understand it. You know, if you don't get through today, there is no such thing as a game 5. I get that, but it's set up. It's right there. Win a baseball game, and then you turn it over to Zach Wheeler, your ace, who already showed you that he can give you 7+ innings of shutout baseball, 1-run baseball, especially back at home, game 5. Whew, juices would be flowing. That would be an intense ball game, but we'll see if the Phillies can force a game 5 after today. Once again, DraftKings, I'm showing here, Jon Marks, plus 210 to win the series. So if you do believe in Zach Wheeler and the fight and to turn this around, that's a nice little price for you there.
Worth a sprinkle? Worth a sprinkle if you think the Phillies can win tonight. Sprinkle a little bit on top.
Skip that Starbucks order for a morning, just, sprinkle on it, like you said. Yesterday, I was losing my mind. Over to the pop culture front. I didn't know that Joe Biden, the Prez, was in the area. Did you know this yesterday?
My mom texted me and said, "Hey, where are you? I don't want you to get caught in the traffic," because he comes in gridlock.
Well, I wish your mom was texting me, So I had a concert last night at the Met, or not, excuse me, at the Man, Anderson Park. So I leave about the 8th inning, game's basically over.
Right.
I'm thinking to myself, I always avoid 76. I'm going to get on 76. There's a Phils game, no issues. I sat on 76 for 55 minutes. I bring that up because of that girl, Sabrina Carter. I don't even know if that's her last name.
Carpenter. It's Carpenter.
There you go. Carpenter, excuse me. That was her song, Espresso. I know that song. You don't know this one? This is the tune right here.
I know the song that you're playing it.
This is the one.
When I saw the story, yeah.
You know, nothing.
Well-produced.
Bubblegum. You know how it is. Nothing's changed. Decades.
I'm sure it's on Q102.
Oh, it's top 5 on Q102. Let's go.
But honestly, I saw the stories this morning, and my reaction was, "Well, who the hell's that?" And I only know her last name's Carpenter because I was saying, "Who is that? I've never heard of her before." Oh, she wore a Phillies jersey. Why do I care? Oh, she's a local girl. Why do I care? Right? Well, I do care because she's local, but still, I had no idea who she was.
I didn't even know she was local. She is a local girl?
Maybe I'm wrong.
She's from across the pond.
Listen, is she really? See, that's how clueless I am.
That's all right. I didn't know either.
Everybody in the media, everybody that comes in here for a concert is going to put on either an Eagles jersey or a Phillies jersey or a Sixers jersey if they're in the playoffs. You know why? Because we're like dogs. Give me a bone. Oh, you're going to kick me in the stomach? 5 minutes later, I'm not going to remember.
Quakertown. She is from local.
I
Berks County. I thought she was from like London. I don't even know.
That's Upper Bucks, Quakertown.
Get out of here.
Yeah, no. Listen, I know my Carpenter or whatever, Sabrina Carpenter. Yeah, I no idea she was.
That is great. Yeah,
that's she rocked the Phillies jersey and she had big boots on. So I'm looking at the story right here. Yep. All right.
Yeah, she seems to be getting a lot of fans these days. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Maybe possibly a new Taylor Swift, with Taylor Swift being a local girl. I know Taylor Swift is on a whole different level, but she's a youngin. She's 25. Wow, 1999, 25 years old. Unbelievable.
Well, listen, maybe she can take a rep in Miles Teller, since he's like anything that's involving the Phillies. Like, oh, here's Miles Teller. Like, all right, take the afternoon off, Miles. Let Sabrina come in and
that'd be nice. That's it on Friday. Yeah, bring them both in. All right, John, we'll hit on this one. First of all, do you think we force a game 5?
I talk myself out of it, and then I talk myself into it. I'll say this: if I was betting on it, I would not bet the Phillies. But that doesn't mean that this series can't change on a dime. And we can sit here, and I always believe this in sports. When everybody thinks that there's no way you can win, that's when you win. Last year in the NLCS, there was 0% chance the Diamondbacks were winning 2 games in Philly. Yeah. It's not going to happen. Then they won 2 games in Philly. So, like, the way the Phillies have played this year, this playoffs, the way that they've looked, it's hard to give you the formula for how they're winning this game tonight. But isn't that what baseball's all about? It's baseball for a reason. So I would not be surprised if they won the game tonight. The offense has got to show up. My biggest worry is that you come into this game a lot like you looked last year against Arizona in the NLCS, and a lot like you look like for most of this series offensively. They look spooked. They look like deer in headlights. They are so tight, right? Like, you know what they need, Sean Brace? They need Rob Thompson to get the story from the Mets putting their NLCS tickets on sale. At noon today, you're able to buy single game NLCS tickets. And of course they have to do it because they have to prepare in case there's a series. But the fact that news got out, that's bulletin board material. Belichick did it back in 2004 or 2005 when it happened because the city of Philadelphia has to have plans in case the Eagles win with a parade. But it got like the media reported on it. That's all Belichick needed. The Phillies need something to rally around right now. They just do. And if it's something silly or stupid like that, but this team needs to be a team again because they haven't been a team this playoff.
I like the sound of that. And from the videos you've seen over the years, they posted that in the meeting. They had that the day before they played in that Super Bowl. Brady has come out and spoken on that. And oh, by the way, gimmicks. The Mets have more dumb gimmicks than I've ever seen. pumpkins, grimace, stupid signs. It's just absurd right now.
It works for them.
It does. It seems
They're
to be.
winning. Yep.
They're nerding out up there. It seems like a very nerdy atmosphere where, we want to eat your young here down here, but it seems very nerdy and stupid up there. But whatever, they're having fun and they're proving a lot of people wrong because I didn't even think they were going to make the playoffs. But here we are. All right, let's go ahead and shift gears and get on over to some Eagles conversation. We'll get you out of here on this one. And bottom line is, like, when I look at the timeline and I see your tweet, it's what I said essentially, I think, that day. And I know another guy that works for us, Ryan Beef Coyle, he said it as much once the spread came out. Who are the Eagles to be giving anybody at that point in time 9 points, now down to 8.5? Eagles an 8.5 point favorite over the Cleveland Browns. I realize the Browns are in bad shape. Understood. 8.5. I like the Eagles to win, but man, that's a lot of points for somebody that the way that the Birds have been playing to be given on Sunday. Your thoughts?
It's an Eagle line for sure. It's an Eagle line that I would not recommend anybody laying 8.5 or 9 points. Sean, sometimes it's a negative that we're so knee deep in our sports here because we're too knee deep, and it's nice to have an outside perspective. And then there's other times where we have a really, really good feel for where the team is, to where nationally it's difficult for them to really understand. And I feel like in this particular scenario, being local and being knee deep in Philadelphia, we have a much better sense of where this team is right now. And I agree with you. If you lose to the Browns, Nick Sirianni might get fired. I'm just saying it right now. Robert Saleh got fired. There are a lot of people whining like, "Oh, how are you going to fire Saleh?" He was a terrible head coach, and that team wasn't winning squat with Saleh. So you hope before the Bills game, you bring him in, you get a bump, and you turn the season around. They got to not only beat the Browns on Sunday. Like, I need some type of I don't need a 2-touchdown, 3-touchdown win. I'm not asking for style points. I want to feel like my football team has turned the page and is a good football team. And honestly, I just don't know if they are. From offense to defense to play calling to Nick Sirianni to Kellen Moore to everything else, this team feels like a team that's going to keep winning games just because, like, they're a good team. But when it matters, they're not good enough. So it is. And by the way, here's the other part of it, Sean. The Browns are a mess. Deshaun Watson sucks, and you can just see how bad that is right now. So, yeah, the Eagles better win this game. I would not bet the 9, but it's an Eagle line. It's a ridiculously high 9.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. It's one of those moments where, and again, maybe I try to be optimistic, but I do have a little Negadelphian coming in on this one. I'm starting to get that vibe of that snowball for this team. But in what you said, where, yeah, they could still win. They can win 9 games this year. You just know that they're not going to be better than the Tampa Bay Bucks in the playoffs if they make it, the Detroit Lions. We could look at the tiers of teams, and it's just like they're underneath them. So, but we'll see, because offensively, if they get everybody back healthy and they hit their stride, that was a pretty good Green Bay team that they threw 30-plus points up on in week 1. So if you give me some more of that, then I could become a believer again. But at this point in time, I'm second-guessing who the hell they are to be giving anybody 8.5 points, more than a touchdown.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
We've seen, the first year that Tom Brady and the Patriots won a Super Bowl, they started the season 0-4. So it's not like that things can't change. Last year, the Chiefs struggled out of the gate. So the team that they are right now doesn't need to be the team that they're going to be by the end of the season. When I see this team, I see a team that doesn't believe that this is their head coach going forward, that doesn't believe that this guy gives them an advantage over other head coaches in the National Football League. I don't think they hate him. I think they do a lot of eye rolling when they have to deal with Nick Sirianni, or when Nick Sirianni talks to them. And that's a problem. Coach-quarterback relationship in the NFL needs to be in lockstep. I don't believe these guys are in lockstep, and that's a problem. Doesn't mean they can't win some games. They're going to out-talent a lot of the teams that they play, but right now I find it hard to believe that this is a team that's a real contender to go back to the Super Bowl.
Well, Jalen said they have their moments. Hopefully Sunday is one of those good moments, and they're able to turn this around and get a victory against the Browns. They're right for the picking with how bad they've been playing this whole season. So
I have a good Deshaun Watson stat, and maybe it plays into what ails the Eagles right now, which is getting pressure on the quarterback. Watson's been sacked 26 times in 5 games this year. He's on pace not only to break the record, but to crush the record. David Carr got sacked 76 times 22 years ago. He's on pace for 88 sacks. Also on pace to break the number of yards lost in the sacks. Randall said it back in 1986. He would beat that by 154 yards if he did it. And think about this. The Eagles so far this season, I think they have 6 sacks on the season. Watson's been sacked 26 times. So if there's a time to get your pass rush kind of going, this is the week to do it. So that's the formula. That's why they've been so bad, but that's the formula to beat them. You got to get this pass rush going.
Have to get there. And man, we could continue this conversation because I would love to know your thoughts on Fangio, but we'll save that for another time, hopefully after a game here. I do want to bring this up. Ryan Beef Coyle, a stat not so good, John, to end us here. Biggest underdog ATS each week, 5-0 this season. And I believe the Browns would fit into that trend this week as they're catching 8.5. So hopefully that one not increases to 501, decreases to 501 there on that one. John, fantastic stuff as usual. Once again, PHLY Sports every morning, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Subscribe on YouTube. Also follow him, Jon Marks Media. John, always a pleasure, sir. Enjoy the day, enjoy the game, and if it does get ugly, take a trip to Target. No one's gonna.
I might do it. All right, Sean. I'll talk to you soon.
You the man. There he is. Once again, Jon Marks on the Gambler Stream, the Daily Ticket rolling on. Don't go anywhere. More after this.